You're
Hi,
all going down.
recording now. Oh, hey, Joey. I did a visual scan to see if there was any guys. I forgot about that. Okay, so I'm very excited to talk about this tonight with you guys because I feel like I hear. Oh, damn it! I feel like I can. All I do is hear from you guys like the same thing is starting new conversations and kind of feeling a little, I guess, awkward about it. Um, so I am going to kind of take you through exactly what I do when it comes to my time to make new conversations and go and invite. And I'm going to actually do a full-blown screen share. So what we're going to do is it's going to be live. Like I'm going to actually like do all of the work because I haven't yet for the day. Awkward. Share screen. Okay, so you guys can see my screen, right? So if you want to just jot down a few notes and stuff, the main things that I do is I need to be organized. So that's kind of, let's start there, right? So we'll start however you feel is going to be best for you, but what works for me is I have one main folder on my desktop for the team, and that houses everything. And then in here, I kind of hold everything. And this is just kind of like my background where this comes in. So I was a product development manager, so I had to keep track of a lot of little tiny things and a lot of little details and tons of conversations from the factories over in China. So my brain is just kind of naturally already going down that path. So I've learned the hard way how to stay organized, I guess, from my old job. So I broke everything down into new coach trainings. I've got my 3-day sneak peeks, push groups, challenge groups, free groups, scripts in my hot list. And then I just have, other random pictures and stuff. So that's kind of how I organize myself. So if you're like a brand new coach, or even you're further along and you're a leader, maybe just start a little system for yourself. Oh, can you see that? Oh, that's awkward. So maybe just start a little list going for yourself and break everything out into folders. So that's kind of how everything works for me really well. So we'll go right into my scripts and my hot list. So I have a few. Right? Obviously, I have a lot that goes on. This is just kind of my craziness, but I keep everything in either Excel or in Word doc. You can use your Google Drives if that's easier, and you can kind of host everything in a Google Drive, which is totally okay. But my background is in Excel, and that's just where I feel more comfortable. So that's sort of where I start. Okay, so I have all my files, I have everything ready, and then what I do is I open everything up. So here I have my hot list. Okay. I've got all of my scripts open too. So I have like 3 scripts that I kind of base everything off of, and then here's my hot list. So let's start with the hot list. So if you guys can look down here, I break everything up for me into how I'm working and what I'm doing. So I have a Mac Daddy list, and I just got the word, honestly, Mac Daddy from Christine Dwyer, because that's a call that I jumped on, and she was talking about how she tracks, and that's what she calls it. So your Mac Daddy list is sort of like your hub where everybody that you're talking to kind of goes on. So even if you're talking, like say you meet somebody, I don't know, even at like a grocery store, or you're talking to somebody at a party and you just get their information, put their name on your hot list no matter what. Okay, so your Mac Daddy list is going to just be a running tally of everybody that you talk to. Okay, so there's no further information. It's just a name. You can break it down by where you met them if you'd like. I also use little notes I kind of keep in here, like Amanda, she's in the UK. So I know when we finally open up in the UK, I'm going to search through my list and I'm going to find all my UK people, right? So you can do random things like that, however you think it might work. Sometimes I even tried tracking how I, like what script I use. So if I like kind of scroll through, you can kind of see like what script I use and things like that, or, you know, what Shakeology they liked, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. And then I go further and I break it out into people that I've met on Instagram. And especially if you guys do things on your Instagram account where you're like, leave your email below and I'll get you entered into this or whatever it is, make sure you guys take that email address and you save it somewhere, because that email address is important. Okay, so make sure you save it. So I have an Instagram tab. I have an email tab from people that have ever emailed me. So, you know, on your Instagram account, you should have an email address up, right? Okay, so if somebody random messages you, save their email and their name. And then I break it out even further through people that I'm talking to about business invites, challenge group invites, new conversations, people that I want to follow up with, people that have joined my free groups, and then further on, free groups to email from Facebook. So I have an email tracker for Instagram and for Facebook. Now, I know that kind of seems like a lot, but once you guys start really moving your business further along, you're going to have to stay organized. And this is a really good, overwhelming problem to have. Let's put it that way. Because obviously, the more people you're able to talk to, the more your business is going to grow. Okay, so I always have my hot list up and ready to go. And I'm a big copy and paste kind of gal. It's just kind of my flow and my jam. And then I just have a few scripts. So I was actually talking with Davina earlier, right, about this. And Davina wrote like a really good, I can't even see you, but you wrote like a really good comeback, right? I can see you now. Yeah. And what I told her was right away, I was like, copy that and save it. So like sometimes if I'm in the middle of a really good conversation and, you know, I'm like, oh, whatever I just wrote back sounds amazing. Like it could be anything. Like it can be you explaining what the 21-day fix is. But on that day, and some reason your wording just sounds like on point, save that in a Word doc or save it somewhere, because at least you can go back and just copy and paste it and reference that. Okay, so that's another good tip. Make sure you like jot that down somewhere or like keep a mental note. Okay, so that is sort of what I do to get started with like my hot list and my inviting time. And then I move over to Facebook. Okay, so now I'm on Facebook and I have 3 Facebook tabs open. Okay, I have one open for messages. I've got one that I'm going to just go and hang out with my friends and see who my friends are. Gotta go through my friend requests. And then I just leave one open as like a backup if I want to check something. So I have these 2 tabs open so I can kind of go back and forth. So what's going to happen is I'm going to want to go through my friends. And when you look at your friends list, usually the top people are the ones that you're talking to the most, or you're engaging with the most, you're liking each other's posts. So for the most part, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces up at the top. So I usually always start with my recently added, because I like to make sure that I actually talk to everybody that I become friends with. This is actually good. I haven't done this yet today. So I obviously have a lot of friend requests. So I'll go through here, but sometimes, honestly, sometimes you might have a conversation like Teresa Roberts. So I know that I met Teresa on Instagram and she found me, but there's a lot, that name is kind of familiar. Like I might not remember that I'm also talking to her on Instagram. So that's something that you kind of just want to like pay attention to with your tracking. Okay, so that's why tracking is going to be really important. So then I have my recently things open, and also I keep an eye, because if I'm talking to someone, I want to make sure that I already didn't start a conversation with them, because that would be awkward, right? So this is kind of how I start. So I'm going to go in here. I know, so Dan is one of my best friend's boyfriend. I'm not going to ask him to join. But I don't know who Ileana is. So how I do it, so I just became friends with her. So I'm going to actually open up her profile in a new tab. And I'm just going to check out what's going on in her life, like who she is, how do I know her. So when I look at a new person to start a new conversation with, I will open up their page and kind of check around. I'll look at our mutual friends. So like just by glancing really quickly, obviously she's one of my endo girls. So that's how I'm going to gauge how I'm going to talk to her. So also I look to see where they live, because that's always important, right? Because we currently are only in the US, Puerto Rico, and Canada. So even if you're talking to someone and they're not in any of those places, you could still write their name down and just put like a little side note on your hot list saying where they live. So then I'll just, look around, like obviously she's an endo girl. So then I'm going to go to my scripts, and I have a few scripts that I write specifically for like my endo girls. Like if you guys can see these, like they're so simple. I really don't have much to say. It's literally just saying like, hello, how are you? And then I like to give a compliment. So whether it's about a picture on their profile or it's a post that they made, something, that's sort of how I start the conversation, is because I want to connect with that person, so you want to try to find that mutual thing that you can talk about for a long time. So I usually pick something about their profile pictures. It could be anything, but for her, because she's an endo girl, I actually have one just for endo girls. And I've posted all of my scripts, but I can again, so you guys can see them if you want them. Is that a yeah? Would you like that? Okay, I have one somewhere. But basically, I'm just going to say like, hey, how you doing? Can you believe I'll actually do it. Okay. So then I'll copy her name, and then I'll come back over here and I'll paste it. Okay, copy, paste. And then I'll just be like, hey, Ileana. Ooh, that's a pretty name. So yeah, literally we'll just say whatever comes to my mind. And then thank God for spell check. Bam. Send. New convo started. Copy. And then I'm going to put it right on my list. Okay. And then here's my new combos for the day. And then I'll put the date. Okay. And then I'll go back. And then I'll close this tab out because I'm done. And then I'll go over here. So I know Meg's also a coach, so I know who she is, but Sarah. So I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to check her out, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. See, oh, she's a rap girl. See? Look at that. So instantly, just by taking 2 seconds out and caring enough and wanting to see like who these people are that you're talking to, that is a great way to start a conversation. I mean, even based on their TV shows, I've started conversations. Check out their movies, the things that they like. I know, like Jackie and Joe, you guys are really big into your college sports. Like, if you see something, like anything that you can literally just start a conversation with, that's what you want to lead with. So that's all that I do for new combos. I just go through my friends list on Facebook, copy and paste, check them out, and then I literally just send something super simple like, hey, how are you? Your profile picture is awesome. See, it's not so scary, right? You guys are going to all have like 40 new combos, right? And everybody that doesn't have their camera on is just nodding away. Right? Thank you. Okay. Okay, so that's what I do for new conversations. Now, how do you go and find people, right? So for finding new people, I do a lot of stuff in groups. So how many of you guys are in groups? Oh, look how cute Stacy looks. Everyone's hand should be up. There's some hands that are not up. So you guys are going to join a few groups if your hand is not up, okay? If you go in the search bar, you can just sort of type in anything. Give me a hobby. I'm going to type in Harry Potter. Just because. Okay? And you're going to go down and you're going to just search for Harry Potter. And if you go to here where it says more and click on your groups, wow, look at all of these groups that I can join and have so many amazing conversations about Harry Potter. What is this one? Oh, this one's just about Harry and Hermione. So this is a great way. Like you got an alto. Let's see. I'll pick one. Which one should I go in? Not the one in Chile. Phoenix? I thought the actual, Oh, Harry Potter and Hunger Games. Oh, that's not English. See, you just got to find something that works. These are not English at all. All right, I'll join the fan club. So just join a group, like whatever you guys like. So if you're not in a group or if you are in a group, just sort of pick out maybe a few things that you really like about yourself that are not fitness related or health related, okay? So it could be about anything. And Smith, I'm going to take you off mute real quick. You have such a good story about opening up and finding groups. I unmuted you. Do you mind sharing real quick?
Yeah, sure. For a while, like, it sucked with the groups because I would take, like, things that I like to do, like crafting I like to do, but I'm not a big-time crafter. Hold on, I'm talking.
Tell me I'm a big-time crafter.
Hold on, please. Sorry. So, like, everybody in the crafting groups would be posting stuff like, here's my magnificent work of art, and I would be like, well, here's our popsicle house. So, like, I wasn't relating to anybody at all. So I dug deeper and I started looking up neurofibromatosis groups, which is a genetic disorder that I have. And it taught me so much because I had never really knew anybody else that had that other than myself and my dad and my grandma. So, and my daughter, my oldest daughter has it also. But it really helped. So like I've made so many friends in the group and I'm really connecting, like more so than any other group ever. So my thing is like, you got to just keep trying because if you, like I was really frustrated at first because some of the groups just were not vibing, they weren't working and I almost gave up, but I just kept trying. So it finally paid off.
And what are some things that you would post in the group? Like how would you start a conversation?
Okay. Well, I'll just be like, hey, where's everybody from? And then like I'll get like literally like 50 notifications within like 2 minutes.
That's really
and
good.
A lot of people are in the States, some people are in the UK. And at first I was overwhelming myself because I was sending friend requests to every single person that responded to my comment, my post. But then that was like literally like 50 to 100 people in one post. And then I found out like a lot of those people were people I weren't relating to at all, that I can't connect with, that were people that I should have looked into a little bit more before actually friend requesting them. So I guess now like I just kind of pick and choose who I make friends with, I guess. I make a conversation with them more so like in the comment sometimes. And then sometimes I'll just post like a lot of people get depressed and have anxiety, so I'll be like, hey, and everybody's kind of feeling down today. It seems like your posts are, sad, really horrible sometimes. So I'll just ask everybody to post something they're grateful for, and I'll tell them how I do the grateful post every day. And I did that in 2 of the groups, and like the response was crazy. Like everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's so great, and they were all sharing everything they were grateful for. So it was pretty cool.
That's a really good one. I haven't done that one. That's really good.
Yeah. I need to do that one again because it's been like a month or so, and new people get added to the group all the time. So, and people, with this disease or disorder, you get bumps on you. And some people have it really, really bad. Like they feel like monsters. They say people make fun of you. People, it's shitty, but it can be okay too. That's why I like being in those groups, and I'm trying to encourage more of the girls and guys to come to Beachbody because it's not just about health and fitness. Like I'm trying to like really show that in my posts more too.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you guys already know that, so.
Yeah.
I'm spill my name.
Thank you. And then I know, Cassie, I saw you on. You're like sort of around here, right? But you don't have your thing on. Cassie, I didn't. One thing too about groups. Sometimes you might not be in the correct group for yourself, and you can have a little sassiness happening. So if that happens, just kind of brush it off and maybe just leave it at that. Another thing about groups that I do, I just like what Ange said, it's very similar. I just post, it could be about anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything. It could be like, hey, like, where are you from? This is how I'm feeling today. Or does anybody have any ideas? People love giving their opinion. So if you can ask for people's opinions, that's a great way to start conversations. So also in groups too, though, to be like totally honest while we're on it, if somebody does go and ask about a specific Beachbody program or health or fitness, you'll see people like coming out. So what I personally do is I don't comment or like give my opinion in the group. I personally send private messages and I'm like, oh, Davina, you had such a good one. Where are you? I knew it. Okay, you're unmuted. You had the perfect example of this.
Well, I don't know if it's the perfect example of what you were just, I woke up and I don't know what it was. I was just like feeling a little sassy today. As always. No, but one of the groups that I'm in is actually a direct sales group, which kind of like I honestly don't participate in much because we're not direct sales. Like that's not what we do. But I had joined it a couple weeks ago when I was first pushing for Diamond, just because my aunt is a distributor for a different company, and she was like, "Well, hey, maybe you can try this just for some ideas." So this morning, I usually ignore the posts, but the one kind of popped up on my newsfeed and it caught my attention. And this woman was asking for weight loss advice, and she was saying, what product out there is really going to work? What's really going to work for me? And of course, the It Works girls were on it. The Thrive girls were on it. The Tea Talks, whatever, were on it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to put my voice. And I copied and pasted what I wrote, and Mare wanted me to share tonight. And I said, so in the comment section, I said, I was overweight for most of my life. I tried crash diets, pills and supplements, and every gimmick you can think of. But then I took the time to learn healthy habits and relied on the accountability of others. I've lost 50 pounds, and more importantly, I've kept it off for over 4 years. Now I pay it forward as a coach. Message me if you're interested in my insights and help. And so that comment got 5 likes, and then I got 2 private messages. Just by being real and being like, you can't buy a healthy lifestyle, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been through the trenches. I've tried to rip the Band-Aid off. It just doesn't work. So, I mean, I guess it's just kind of like, that was just the one specific case that I was just like, no, you know what? No, this is not how it's going to go. But yeah, you just put yourself out there, and anytime you hear a cry for help like that, you've got a very powerful tool in your toolbox. So use it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And there's some people like that are going to get crazy. And I know like Cassie just had this too. But you could just kind of brush it off. I mean, we're still dealing with people at the end of the day. So that's basically groups on Facebook, what I do. It's nothing super crazy. But like Ange was saying, for groups, I try to create some sort of a friendship within the group before sending a friend request, because also if you have too many pending friend requests on Facebook, it kind of like sets an alarm on Facebook's radar about what you're doing and how you're trying to grow your network, and you can actually be put in Facebook jail. Has anybody been put in jail before? No? Oh, that's really good. Am I the only one with my hand up? Oh, that's good. Yeah, I've been put in jail a few times. It's because you send out too many friend requests and not everybody responds and accepts you. So you guys know, like, if I could go through my friend requests right now, there's some like creepy people, like, I mean, I don't know how, like, a lot of the people, but when you get those random guys from like somewhere in another country and you're like, how did you find me? And you can actually hit delete request and it'll ask you like if this is spam. So if you get marked as spam too many times, Facebook will put you on lockdown for anywhere from a week to 3 months, where you can't send out messages, you can't friend request, you can't accept friends. So just kind of keep that on your radar when you're going through your groups. Like, you don't need to, like Ange said, you don't need to go in and accept and friend request everybody. You want to actually pick a few that you feel like you could actually talk to. Like, for me also, if their Facebook picture, if I like see somebody and I'm like, oh, you're super cute, like I want to talk to you, I'm going to try to invest a little bit more time in them because I want to create that relationship. So if I'm scrolling and I see somebody that looks like nice and friendly, like looks like me, I'm going to want to talk to her because at least I'm sure we can find some common ground. So don't go like, I mean, for all the ladies out here, like, you don't need to go friend requesting like a lot of guys and like people from the, like, you don't have to accept everybody. You don't have to request everyone. Okay. So that's groups. And then you also know that you can create all of your groups right here on the sidebar under your favorites. Does everybody know that? I hope so. And then you could also rearrange them with this little wheel. It kind of pops up if you drag your mouse over it, and you could rearrange your favorites so that way all of your main groups that you want to check in with occasionally will be here. And then it's cool too because you'll see these numbers, and that means these are the amount of notifications that you haven't checked, or like that there are things going on in those groups. So that's another good way that you can kind of keep track of checking in on groups that you want to be actively engaged in. Okay. But then also, if you're not friends with somebody on Facebook and you send them a message, it goes to your other. Does everyone know that? So you have an other message box. So like, I mean, what is this? Who knows? But you'll have this, and this is where you guys will actually go if you're not friends with somebody. So you want to always make sure you do the friend request first. Okay. How are we doing? Am I answering a lot of questions? You guys feeling good? Is there a fun chat box thing happening that I don't know about? Lori's like, no. Thank you. So that's sort of basically what I do. That's how I do Facebook invites and stuff. My personal goals too. So whatever is going to work best for you guys, depending on your goal. So I would pick a goal, and I would make that goal, like say you want to push for diamond, or you want to go above diamond, right? There's your goal, and then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to kind of take a step back and figure out the steps that you need to do to get you there. So for me, I'm still pushing for top 20 2015 elite team, right? So for me, this is how I break out my days. So I do weekly goals for myself. So my weekly goals are to have 10 business invites a week, 10 challenge group invites a week. I don't want to tell you guys how many new convos I have a week. And I do 20 follow-ups. Okay, so those are like my non-negotiables for the week. And then what I personally do is I break up my days based on the goals. So when I first started all of this, I would do like 2 business invites, 2 challenge group invites. I would have 6 new conversations and 5 follow-ups every day. For 30 days, that's what I did. And it got to the point where my Facebook messages were over 200. And I just like totally broke down. I could not handle it. So obviously I was failing, so I had to change it. So what I found works for me is I do all of my new conversations on one day. So Monday will be my new convo day, and then between Tuesday and Wednesday, I answer all of my messages, and then I follow up with people in those 2 days. Okay, so now I'm on Thursday. So Thursday is going to be my business invite day. So I'm going to send out between 10 and 20 in one day. And then Friday will be my answering. And then over the weekend, I'll fill in whatever I kind of missed. And then Sunday is kind of like my recap day. Because even though you guys, like, that sounds like a big number, but you guys know not everybody's going to write back to you. So out of those 10, if you get 2 responses, that's amazing. Then just hone in and focus on building those relationships. Okay. So how I keep conversations going and how I build relationships, I ask a lot of questions. I don't know. I know I was talking with somebody a long time ago about what to do, and somebody was like that they were talking to about coaching, I think was going to go like back to school. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. What are they going to go back to school for? And whoever I was talking to didn't know. And I'm like, well, womp womp. Like what? Like you just kind of like don't end your conversation, you know, like that's awesome, right? Like give them that compliment and then ask a question. You know, you want to just keep your conversations going because that's just straight forming. You know, that's just finding out who, you know, you want, you know, how your conversation is going to go, who you want to talk to, and how that conversation is going to lead you back to Beachbody. Does that make sense? So just keep asking a lot of questions. There's also this really cool app that you guys can download for free. It's called Conversation Starter. When I first started, I was like, you want me to ask questions about what? I had no idea. So I Googled conversation starters and I found this really cool free app. So it's on my phone, so I can take it obviously wherever I go, whatever I'm doing. So if I'm kind of stuck and I'm like, well, how do I get, you know, when you have that conversation and you're just like, I don't know what to say now. Thank you for your, like, you get, you know, that's what I use. I just look up conversation starters. So I just try to keep the conversation going, and eventually it's going to be like, oh, I saw your post. Oh, what do you do? Oh, this is, you know, eventually it'll lead back there. Okay. So lots of questions. It's a free app. It's literally just called Conversation Starters. Okay. So you just want to love and cherish your little forming friendship. Like a little babes. Pet it. You can name it. All right. I know. It's late. Things are going crazy. There's a lot of chat happening down there, guys, and I'm getting very jealous. Ashley's like, Okay, do you guys have any questions? Is there anything that I did not answer? Is there anything that I went too fast for? You can unmute yourself at any time.
I don't think it's a question as much as a comment. I was talking to Sarah today. She was asking me about living in Arkansas and said she has a friend that lives here and was whatever, and I inadvertently started forming her a little bit. So maybe it might even be something that, you know, I know that day we had the post where everybody asked a question and we popcorned it.
Yeah, that was so good.
And like, maybe even some people on here, if you don't know them very well, like hit them up on Facebook and kind of try to form each other and keep the conversation going. Because like I kept asking her questions and she was asking me questions. Like I literally didn't know the answers, and so I did kind of wonder, but I realized I was actually forming her without realizing it.
That's so good.
Yeah. It only was that easy with other people because it didn't feel like pressure because we already knew of each other. But I think if you could do that with everybody, it would be really good.
I like that idea. We're going to do it, guys. Thank you, Ashley.
Sorry, I just gave you more homework. Teacher's pet.
I love homework. That's a really good idea. Does anybody else have a question or want to add anything?
I have a question.
Okay.
You were talking about how you should have like your email on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was actually just watching that team call, like right before this team call. But I have my About Me page on there, which has all my contact information and stuff like that. Is that okay to have in there, or should I shorten my bio to put my email in there?
What's your I would have your straight up your name, your email. What's your Instagram name?
It's Little's Big Results.
Oh, that's fun.
Right? Thank you.
I like that. You could leave the about me. I would probably change the about me, to be totally honest.
Okay.
I would add your email in the bio.
Okay.
And then I would change your link to be like your Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, you guys should all have your email in your Instagram bio. Because it's kind of like a first preview. Like if I didn't know anything about you, but I wanted to talk to you, I would be like, how do I, you know? But yeah, and then if somebody does email you, you want to make sure you save that email.
Right.
Because like CJ says, your email list is everything. Any other questions?
Can we just tell them to direct message us instead of emailing us? Because I feel like even in my email, like, I'll start, like, ignoring stuff because, like, sometimes spam happens and I don't know which one is spam and which one is, like, somebody that wants to talk to me or something. So, like, I don't want it to build up and...
Yeah. You mean, like, on your end? Like, you don't always answer your emails, or you're worried that somebody else won't answer?
Like, I'm worried that, like, I won't, like, know if it's someone trying to talk to me or if it's just spam or something.
Well,
So
you can create...
Could I just ask them to direct message me on Instagram, or...
You could, or you could just create a coaching email, and
Okay.
that way that email is not out anywhere else to get spam. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could do that. The only thing is, it's really important to have an email list, so that way you can always refer to who you're talking to, and eventually you're going to want to be able to convert all of your customers and coaches and everything to having an email list. So your ultimate goal is to create a running email list. Because one day Instagram could be gone, and then how are you going to know how to message them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But at least having an email, like, it's probably not going to go away. You know, but you can create a new email just for this. Like, you know, it could be like coach blah blah or whatever your tagline thing is, and it could just be a free
Do I have to change my email for Beachbody?
You don't have to. No, not at all.
Okay.
It's whatever you'd like. That's a good question, though. Thank you. None of you guys have questions. I'm calling BS.
I can share my weekly goal
Oh, okay. Thank
that I
you.
just made with you. So I was inspired by, there was a call last night with Sarah about meeting new people and meeting new people off of social media, like actually out talking to people face to face. And I live in New York City, so I can pretty much go anywhere by myself and it's totally fine. You know, like there's no shame in going anywhere by yourself. So I set a goal with Meredith to go to the bar by myself once a week and just start talking. Because I went to, you know, it's not to get drunk and crazy, but I went to the bar by myself once and I had so much fun just talking to people. And I was just like, what if I was thinking with Beachbody in mind when I did that? You know, like who could I have met that day? So that's my new goal, to just live and let live. So I don't know if that inspires anyone. Like maybe you can go to the coffee shop or the mall or something, or you can come to the bar with me in New York. And
I'm coming to the bar. We all know how I roll.
So that's all.
I mean, and if you guys didn't listen to the call from last night with Sarah Try, it's always up on her YouTube, so just go Google it. And I'm sure it was an awesome call. I didn't listen to it either, but I'm going to.
And at that point, I guess I'm a really awkward person. And at that point, when you meet people like that, do you like get them to add you on Facebook or like just give them your cell phone? Like how does that work?
Yeah, I literally hand them my phone and I tell them to find themselves.
Ah.
I have them search for themselves on my phone.
Okay.
Because if you give somebody your card or you give somebody your info, then they like how many. I've been handed so many cards, and I'm like, I don't want to carry this around. Right? I mean, it's sad. It sucks, but it's the truth. You know, like I don't want to carry your paper. So if you just literally hand them the phone, then there's no excuse. And then your friends on Facebook and you're posting and it's just going to knock, and then you're going to do your invites, right? And you're going to go to your recently added. And
I will tell you, in the name of all this, I did something really creepy the other day. There's this girl emailed me at my work because she is looking for a job in social media at a magazine up here. And I happen to be the social media person at our magazine. And so she got my email and emailed me about it and was like, can you pass my resume along? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. No problem. And I was like, I'm a creep. And so I went to like look at her Facebook and like check her out and see if I really wanted to work with her ever. And so I was like looking at it. And then like before I knew it, I had already clicked add friend. And then she like she added me immediately. And so now I'm friends with this chick. And I have no idea who she is, but I've been commenting on her stuff, and she's been like, I don't know, it's weird. So if we never hire her, I'll feel bad, but I'm like, whatever, let's be friends.
Yeah, so you can hook her up with a part-time job.
Well, that's true. That is true. But yeah, I felt really creepy, but whatever.
I enjoy the creepsters. Well, some of them. Does anybody else have any like tips that they love that works for them? Like, has anybody else like kind of found their groove? Like, I'm like all about copying and pasting. It works for me. And another tip that I do is when I do invite, I emotionally detach myself. If you have big goals, like I try to message 30 people a day.
I think you have to, because if you remember the one girl I told you about that I invited her, and it was one of the ones that you have in the files, like a real like nonchalant, like, hey, you want to join this fitness journey with me? I've been loving it. I just want you to tag along with me. Like one of those like real friendly ones. Nothing about like you're fat, let's lose weight, like let's get fit is how like basically how it was worded. And she didn't respond, so I did my follow-ups. Hey, girl, just wanted to see if you got my message. She's like, yeah, I did, and I was extremely offended. And, like, she went on and like, basically went off on me. How dare I message her, and if she wants to lose weight, she'll come to me, and blah, 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 or she'll do it on her own. And I'm like, ooh, I'm not going to message her anymore.
And so she'll be on the no list.
Yeah. I mean, she was really upset, and I'm like, I like even reread it to make sure it wasn't. Yeah. Like, I don't even know. I've sent it to millions of people, not millions, but lots of people, and nobody else ever got offended except for her. So
there's always going to be that one. What about anybody else? Do you guys have like anything like that really works for you, like, or do you do really well on one social media platform versus anything else? Like, are you an Instagram genius?
I'm getting better at Instagram. A girl just now wants me to add her on Facebook.
Okay, good.
I need to get better on Instagram because I feel like you reach out to more people quicker. I don't know.
Hashtag your state, your city. That's how this girl found me.
Well, I'm getting all these, like, I hashtag my city and my state, and I get, like, the cannabis places.
Well, I mean.
Where do you live?
And I'm like,
Recorded. Yeah, I mean.
But I try to get all my, because I'm better on Facebook, and it's an instant conversation starter if I get them from Instagram to Facebook. Yeah. Be like, hey, we've been following each other for a while. I have a few that I did that with, and like it was kind of like an easy.
It really works for me to either find like a recipe they posted or like something that they're doing and to compliment them and be like, hey, can you send me that? Here's my email address, or can I have your email address? And then, it's usually like, oh, it's easier for me to talk to you while I'm at work, wink, haha, so if I have your email address, and usually they're like, yeah, sure. And then that's how they get from Instagram to email. And then from there, if we're talking enough, I can get them from email to Facebook. But always compliment them and ask them to send you something via email. That's really what works for me.
Anybody else have any fun tips that they really like?
I'm loving Periscope right now.
Oh, are you?
I am. I tell you, because it's a little overwhelming at first when you get on there, because there's so much going on between like who's joining and then creepers chiming in and then people asking questions and then giving hearts. But once you just kind of like take a chill pill, people are they're willing to hang out if they're into what you're talking about. So I've done a couple things, like after I've done size, I'll get on there for just like a quick Periscope. I'm all sweaty and I'll be like, I just totally rocked it out, doing size. And then I use it for selling my other courses. So like my May Cause Miracles course, I get on there and my theme might be that. So it's a little bit more like chill conversation, and I'll talk about, meditation or whatever. So, depending on what the topic is, you can really get a lot of people there quick. In no time you can have 100 people joining in. So to promote Shakeology or the refresh or your programs, you can talk about confidence. Whatever it is, whatever like speaks to you. But that platform is going to be huge. Yeah. And it's brand new. So it's just one of those things that, it's only been out a couple months, and it's like anything else. The sooner you start, then it starts to build. But I don't know. I think it's funky fun.
How many of you guys are on Periscope or have at least tried to download it? Okay, everybody whose hand is not up needs to go download it right now.
I'm on it, but I've got no idea what to do on it. Like, I'm completely confused.
There was that training I posted about. It was recorded. If you just like look around in the team page, I'll try to find it. But there's so many freemiums out there now for trainings on Periscope.
I get on some of hers.
Yeah. I did my first video today.
All the time.
Watch it.
Yeah, you did. I think so.
It got very few views, but I literally just downloaded Periscope. It's still the beginning. Did my video today, so ripped the band off.
Yeah, but that's all. You guys should all just download it, and even if you're only following Shalene Johnson and Shantae.
Yeah.
And me, of course.
Because Charlene has some great stuff on there. Her scopes the past couple days have just been awesome. She's talked about how to grow your Periscope, and then she's got into confidence, this and that. Her stuff is great.
Everything, yeah. So do that too. So make sure you guys get on Periscope. I don't really think there's anybody that's mastered it yet, so we're kind of all just hot messes floating around, talking to ourselves, which is fine. That's kind of what we do anyway, right?
And it's like one of those things, even when you get on there and like, if nobody's on there or if one person's on there, like just keep talking, because the more that you keep talking to it, then the more comfortable you get, the more confident you get. And then as you go on scoping, scope after scope after scope, then it just becomes supernatural. Yeah. It's like going to the bar and talking to strangers. That's my favorite thing to do.
Awesome.
Now I can talk to like 10,000 strangers at one time.
Oh, yeah, right? See? You don't have to leave. You can do it from anywhere.
It's like, what are you drinking? Goose and soda? Just got done working out.
21-day fix approved. As long as you save your yellows.
Not gonna lie, that day that I went to the bar by myself, I went before I went to yoga in Bryant Park. So I'm like in Bryant Park, like tipsy. It's fine. It's fine. Yoga's about freedom.
YOLO.
So.
If I start using that, I'll end up getting crazy stalkers, Meredith.
Yeah, you will. Well, actually, you were on my very first one, remember? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And all of a sudden, these creepy guys stopped. And I was like, and I'm done broadcasting.
Yeah.
I was trying to teach you about it.
Well, you have to download Periscope. Joey said he wants to stalk you, Meredith.
No, I said I want a stalker.
Oh, he wants a stalker. Oh, well, you need to broadcast on Periscope then.
Yeah, you got to get on Periscope then.
Mary, we talked about it, but I think that I don't know. I think I had a dream about this or something, but you totally need to do the Mare and Ma show. I think that would be so.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That makes me nervous.
Ma would be amazing.
I can control what you guys see with that sassy little thing.
But that's the point.
We don't want you to control it.
Because that's what Shalene was talking about. She was like, make it your own. She's doing like this contest. I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but there's this dope scope contest. where she's trying to find top 11 people in all these different categories on Periscope. And one of the categories is like best like reality Periscope, like a couple or like people like they're just really funny that like make it their own thing and are entertaining.
So just
if she'll put you on her list, and so everybody that follows her will see your name, and they'll like you'll be recommended by her.
I'm gonna go wake up Ma right now.
Do it.
And then we'll all get on Twitter and tell Shalene to look at your profile.
That'd be my dream.
Be awesome.
That's a good one. All right, so everyone's gonna go download Periscope. If you guys want help making your weekly goals of how many people you should be talking to, let me know. And then come to me with your ultimate goal, and then we'll kind of work backwards from that goal, okay? So if you're going for diamond, your number is going to be a little bit higher. If you are doing this full-time or you want to do this full-time and you have a specific goal date to leave a job because you want to do this full-time, like those are the things that we need to know so we can really just kind of hone in and make it like exactly works for you. Okay? I'm going to turn off these chats. It's very unfair, Joey. Okay, but seriously, do you guys have any other questions about like inviting and following up and finding people and meeting new friends or anything? I feel like you guys always have questions about that, and now I'm here and everyone's silent.
I think it's mostly because I start the conversations,
Yeah.
and they go a little bit, and then they just dwindle down.
Well, then
I
that's
don't know how to keep them going.
question.
And steer them.
Questions. I mean, honestly, though, sometimes you're going to find those people that are like, yes.
I like the people that write me a novel back.
Yeah.
Like I had one today. Like, we have like a ton in common.
Right.
And wouldn't have known it unless she told me.
Exactly. And but that's the thing, though. Maybe just kind of go back and see like what you did or what you said in that conversation. Because obviously, like just like in GoPro, you know, like how he says to use the words for sure. There might have been something that you said that was just perfect because it obviously worked. And that's why I keep a running scripts list for myself because you might have just said the right thing and it opened up a floodgate.
It was actually just a generic challenge group post that she's interested in, but then she wrote like a big long thing about how we have similar journeys with endo and infertility, and unfortunately she had to have a hysterectomy, and so leaves a lot of stuff open to talk about. So,
but that's the thing, you know, and then that's the cool thing. So out of all of those conversations that you had, you have your one amazing conversation. So it's even like, you know, for all those of you that went to Summit, like the photographer, do it.
Loved him.
Do it. Like how he compared his photographs. Like he took 1 million snapshots, but did you get the one? You know, like you have that one amazing conversation. You don't know where that can lead. That can lead to amazing things. That one conversation. And with Beachbody, you guys, you only need 10 amazing people with you. So like she could be one of your 10, you know? So it's not a bad thing that you have some conversations that fall flat. Like, I mean, people sometimes just are like not feeling you, and that's okay. But you tried, and then their name just goes on the follow-up list, and then in like a month or 2 months or 3, you can just be like, hey, how's it going? New season. I'm doing this. What are you doing?
Maybe a season where there's more to talk about.
Yeah, you know, maybe you just caught them on a bad day. Like, who knows? You know, but no matter what, even if they don't answer you, put them on your follow-up list. The more people you have on your follow-up list, the better you are. Like, make that a goal. You know, fill up your follow-up list.
Wake up, Missy.
I know Missy yawned and it made me yawn.
Question.
Yeah.
So do you duplicate people like on your list? Because like there's people that apply in multiple categories sometimes.
Oh, good question.
So like have one person on more than one list, or do you like delete them from one list?
I never delete.
Okay.
I never delete. So if I'm talking to somebody, so say were we just talking about that? I don't remember. So say I'm talking to somebody that I know I want to become a coach. but I've never talked to them before, but just based on like what I see, like, you know how you can just kind of just feel.
Right.
So if I see somebody that I know would be an amazing coach, but I've never talked to them, that's a double count for me.
Okay, put them on both lists.
It's a new coach, so that counts as a business invite, but that also counts for me as a new conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like this. Okay. As far as the daddy list and whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Like, there's no right or wrong way. Like, you just kind of figure it out and what works for you. Like, I don't mind that half of my new conversations are business invites or the other way around. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
They all kind of fall together eventually.
So you would put the same person on multiple lists,
Yeah.
right? Just like on, okay.
Yeah. So, like, no matter what, I put everybody on my Mac Daddy list. And then I filter them into where I need them to be.
Got it.
That was a good question. Yeah. So you can do that too. Like, if you're talking to somebody that you know is going to be an amazing coach, but you've never talked to them, like, that could count as one of, 2 conversations for your day. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? You guys are going to all have like 30 conversations now, right? Because you're all wired and happy. You're like, yeah, you're funny. Okay.
Wired.
All right. So if you don't have any more questions, I can stop recording. Then we can have our little dance off.
Yeah, I want to see
They're all
that.
going down. I'm telling you.
And I did just get my size on. Jonathan, are you going to do size too? Because if your head pops, so yes, you must dance if you're present.
I already started doing size. Where have you been? There's video proof.
Stop it.
We did that actually.
I'm going to look this up.
It wasn't that entertaining. Well, entertaining, funny, yes, but no.
I got to get Tom to do size.
He liked it. He was pretty good at it. He was good at all the parts that I wasn't good at.
It was better than her.
I just posted the side of
Oh, you did me. Thank you.
Tom wouldn't do it at Super Saturday. You gotta get him to do it. Because I think we're all looking forward to seeing him do it.
I'm waiting for
I know. Tom ran away on Super Saturday. He was
Yeah.
like, I'll take pictures for you.
Wait, did you see that couples challenge that's going around for size?
No.
You guys are gonna be tagged before you know it, so he better get on board.
I mean, I'm obviously down for it.
A couple size challenge?
Yeah, I forget who. I think it was somebody in triceps. They had like tagged. They're like, oh, it's like a couple size challenge, and like the couple had to do size together and then tag another couple.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I was gonna dance with my peanut butter jar. So
I mean,
That is the shit right there. That's
I
what
want a
you need to
gorilla
do.
suit to do size, but she won't buy me one.
I don't like mascots, so. Well.
Okay. I like it. All right, so nobody else has any more conversations, right? I'm not gonna hear anybody being like, so.
Well, I can't guarantee that, but I mean, I don't have any questions now.
Yeah.
Aw, go eat, Ashley.